Okay, in this ALEKS service today, let's talk about final assessments, or proctored assessments, which might be a better term because no final is truly final. If a student wants to take a final exam, a proctored exam to qualify for a grade, they may get to take that again. So just because they take a proctored test, it may be their final, it may not be. Let's talk about how to set those up today and some hints and tips here about that. First of all, we're looking at our report screen here for our sample class, and I noticed that we have some students. Here's Leonard, that's at 91%. Needs to take his final, qualify for an A. Another time we may have students who want to qualify for a particular grade to lock that in. Even if they decide later to go farther, they can still lock in. For example, if Grace here can qualify at the 80% level, she can have a B for the course. And down here, we have Emmy. Emmy, notice, is 72 plus 6, so she may well qualify for a C. So let's suppose that these students come to us and they say, we're ready to lock in one of our grades. We may want to take this test again later, may want to try to qualify for a higher grade, but at least this will lock us in at a particular grade level. And so what we would do here is we'd say, okay, what we're going to do is to set up this assessment for you, and this is going to be how we do it. First of all, click the class and then click the assessment tab here, and we'll look at new scheduled assessment. Okay, now what we might do is give that a name that we can kind of track later. So let's call this proctored assessment, and then let's put a date on that. So let's say that that's going to be for May the 6th 2013. It's nice to put a date on there because that's when you know when it's going to be due and when it's going to be over. Typically what I do here is, especially for students that aren't nearly 100% done, I always just click progress assessment in this point. Now we're going to want to set up the date, and so let's go ahead and do the pull downs for that. So we're going to have this due on May the 6th 2013, and typically what I do here is I allow the students some latitude. I'll say to them, well, you're going to take this on the 6th, but when would you like to take it? And sometimes they don't know, so I say, well, here's what I'll do. I'll set this up for you anytime after 8 o'clock. Okay, so we've set this up with a starting time of 8 in the morning. That's when the testing room opens. And we'll have it close at 7. Testing room typically closes in the evening, so you have to start the test at least an hour beforehand. So if we end it by 7, that way they'll be sure to get it started. Now, if you want the test to be in the testing room, click this box. This is a hardware lockout that will not allow the students to take it anywhere but the testing room. So you can send it to the testing room by checking this box. If you want to proctor the test yourself, what I would suggest that you do there is to set these times for the class time. Set it where they must be in your classroom at that time, and then you can proctor that test yourself if you choose. I'm going to have this one sent to the testing room. Okay, we're going to assign to only specific students. So let's go to our list here, and let's check our 3 students that are going to take the test that day. So we're going to test. Remember, we said Leonard's going to get the test. We're going to have Emmy get the test, and we're going to have Gracie take the test there too. Okay, now what you can do here is you can check this box, and what that's going to do is to let the you can make them take it as soon as the test is available. So they're forced into taking the test in the testing room anytime that day. So when they log on that day, they need to be in the testing room to take the test. If you check this box, it'll go on their assignment list, and then they can take it anytime in that day. They can also review that day. Maybe that's a pretty good way. Okay. Another thing you can do here is you can check require password, and then you can control the access to the test with a password. As long as you send it to the testing room itself, you really don't need to do that. because the hardware lockout here will take care of you. Sometimes I have these tests proctored by other people in other buildings, say at Pittsfield. In that case, a password might be a good thing. In any event, that's how I set up final exams for a group of students. You can set it up for as few as one student if you like. You can do this any way you like here. Typically, though, I like to have these with dates, and I like to have end dates. And you can experiment with some of these things. Whatever you do, do not leave it open-ended. Be sure that there is an end date, so never check this box. Make sure the test ends at a certain point, because that way it's just over with. If something happens and you make a mistake, it'll go away quickly. Okay, thanks for watching this section here of Inservice and ALEKS and how to set up proctored or final exams.